All right, so we're going to do the last set of notes that we are going to do for the year. It's the dichotomous key. What is the dichotomous key? How do you use it? And what is a scientific name? All right, so you're going to go to the second set of the anticipation guide. So like the flip side of the ecology one, we're going to be on the classification side. We're going to go to 5 and 6. We're skipping 1, 2, 3, and 4. Um, on the left-hand side, please write true or false. The science of identifying and classifying organisms into categories is called phylogeny. Phylogeny. Number 6, a dichotomous key is a tool used to classify organisms with similar characteristics. Now please flip back to the notes. Classification. So classification is something we humans do all the time. It is to organize and classify things, or in this case, organisms. Just like your silverware is organized and classified. Are they spoons? Are they rounded? Are they knives? Are they flat and long? Are they forks? Have prongs on them? And then they can even go further. Are they salad forks? Are they seafood forks? Are they like different coarse forks? So a lot of the things that humans do, they organize or classify. And in this case, we're going to start looking at organisms like this thing, and this thing. And we like to classify to keep track of various species. So in species, think of like cats. You have little tiny indoor house cats, and then you have huge, big outside cats. And with those, you're trying to identify relationships between the species. So yeah, they're all cats. They're formed the same way, but there's differences between lions and tigers and cougars and jaguars and bobcats and snow leopards and leopards in general. So they get classified based on certain characteristics. And all this classification is found in the field, or the biology field, called taxonomy. So being able to classify and identify different organisms is called taxonomy. One way, it's really weird, but one way I kind of think of taxonomy, like different creatures, I think of like a hunting lodge has a whole bunch of taxidermied heads. So I know it's really weird, but like you see the different, and they classify each one by saying what type of species it is that was mounted on the wall. So kind of like taxidermy, taxonomy. All right, to be able to get this classification, this organization, and naming of the organisms, we use a dichotomous key, which is a tool for identifying organisms based on similar characteristics. It uses a series of paired descriptive statements, and dichotomous means divided into two names. So when I was talking about the paired statements, looking at my 4 pictures right here, one of the paired statements could be, this organism has feathers. The second pair to it was, this organism does not have wings. So if that was the case, this would be put to the side. Yes, it does. And it's an owl. And then you'd have these 3 things. All right. Does this organism have 2 eyes? Does this organism not have 2 eyes? So these 2 would have 2 eyes. This one would not. And that's a spider. And then you could say, this organism has appendages. This organism does not. The frog does. The snail does not. You could even, wears a shell. Does not wear a shell. Stuff like that. All right. So reading a key, the steps to doing this, reading it. So by observing, by looking, we just saw the pictures. By looking at the group of pictures that we saw of like things, those are all animals, one can read a dichotomous key and identify those creatures based on those statements. So like we just said, the first step that we're going to have is you're going to look at the organism that you're being asked to look at. So you look at you observe the organism, and then you read the first descriptions, both descriptions, and choose which one relates. So you want to choose the first one and then say, does it relate? The creature has wings. The creature does not have wings. Yes or no? If it's a yes, you follow whatever it says after this. If it's a no, you follow whatever it says after that. So I'll get to this in a second. Descriptive statements. That's what I was just saying. It has this. It does not have this. Something to that sort. So continue the process by reading the dichotomous key in order by working through the statements in order. I'm stressing that, in order. Start with number one, all the time. Start with number one. So if we start with number one, does it have hair or fur? No, it doesn't. Go to number two. All right, does it have feathers? No. Go to number three. Is it fertilization external or internal? External. Go to number four. Does it have gills as an adult? No. Okay, then it's a frog. So you follow through the steps. If you even got to number one, does it have hair or fur? Yes. It's a bunny. You're done. All right. So like I just showed you, when you hit that end, when you hit to the final yes or no, and it's got a name with it, that's the identification of the unknown organism that you first saw. And it's given in a scientific name. A scientific name is always the same for a specific kind of organism. The first part of the species name is the genus. You're going to know this because it is capitalized. It is a genus. It is capitalized. Like for us humans, our genus is called Homo. And then the second part of the name is your species. So our genus is Homo, our species is sapien. Putting it together, we're Homo sapien, just like we see right here. That is our scientific name. Now, our common name, like how I said frog and rabbit and even human, those are common names, not our scientific. All right, let's go to the quiz. Please label it quiz 4 key or key quiz 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, what does a dichotomous key not include? It has nothing to do with what we just did. Paired descriptive statements, scientific name, evolutionary history, specific characteristics. This is going to be the history. We have no clue what came before. There's the paired statements. It does or does not. Gives the scientific name at the end. And the specific characteristics are what they're asking the questions or the descriptive statements about. All right. What is the name of the field of biology involving the identification and classification of organisms into categories? Is it a cladogram, taxonomy, botany, or phylogeny? This one's your taxonomy. Think of like the different species on the wall of taxidermied. If you ever go into like a Runnings or a Cabela's or some type of store, you will see a bunch of taxidermied animals labeled by what species they are. All right, when reading those descriptive statements in a dichotomous key, it is important to do which of the following. So when I get to do it, when I'm just starting out, what do I want to do? Do I want to read the statements in order, research the scientific name, find 3 or more descriptive statements, or skip to the statement that is most detailed? So like I said earlier, you want to go and read the statements in order. Start with number 1, A and B, then go wherever it tells you to go. If you need to, you might even get the scientific name right in that first slot. What is a dichotomous key used for? What is the purpose of a dichotomous key? Is it to inefficiently organizing organisms? Is it creating an organism's scientific name? Does it identify an organism's scientific name, or does it identify evolutionary history between the organisms? So remember, it's taxonomy. We are organizing and identifying organism's scientific name. All right, last one. The scientific name includes what? Is it kingdom, phylum, domain, kingdom, family, species, genus, species? So the only things that we've talked about in this topic is genus and species. You can learn about these or remember these through the Edpuzzle given. All right, go back to the anticipation guide. That's that flip side, the back side, 5 and 6. Number 5, the science of identifying and classifying organisms into categories is called the phylogeny. True or false? This one's going to be false. That is your taxonomy, the science of identifying and classifying organisms. Number 6, a dichotomous key is a tool used to classify organisms with similar characteristics. Absolutely true. We use those characteristics to help identify the organism. All right, here's our summary. What is a dichotomous key? It is a dichotomous key is paired statements that help to identify an organism. How do you use the dichotomous key? You go in order from the starting with number 1. What is the scientific name? It is the genus and species of an organism. All right. That is it for the notes. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, and I hope you guys have a great day.